Teenage alcoholism is a growing problem in the U.S. and is of major concern to many parents who may be experiencing this in their own families. One of the main psychological problems faced by teens today is the dysfunction of the family. Teens whose parents are not around or that face financial or relationship problems may start drinking at an early age for comfort or just to fit in. According to research, if either parent is alcoholic, that teen is 7 times more likely to be an alcoholic themselves. Hello, my name is Deborah Pittman. I'm going to talk to you about how family dysfunction is the #1 psychological issue for teens today that may lead to teenage alcoholism or addiction. It's important to note that no one is to blame. No one can cause alcoholism. Alcoholism is a disease. This is an attempt to look at contributing factors within the family that may lead to teenage alcoholism. Issues such as self-esteem, parenting styles, and even whether both parents work outside the home are of major importance when it comes to whether a child may use or abstain from using drugs or alcohol. According to research, if a parent is alcoholic, that teen is 7 times more likely to become an alcoholic themselves. First, let's look at the importance of self-esteem. Self-esteem is how the child views or feels about himself. A sense of self-respect and self-worth is very important in the battle against drugs. A child's self-esteem is based upon messages that he receives from others, so that the child that hears that he's lazy, worthless, dumb, or ugly will grow up a very different child from the one that hears that he's smart, lovable, dependable, handsome, etc. It's vital to communicate to your child that they are lovable, worthwhile, and competent. Children need validation from their parents, not their peers. Second, let's look at parenting styles. There are 3 basic parenting styles. One is harsh authoritarian parenting. This type of parenting encourages dependency and discourages independent thinking. This causes the child to let others make their decisions for them. Peer pressure will be very hard for this child to resist. Second, there's permissive parenting. This is pretty self-explanatory. Many people use this type of parenting in a way to sort of be friends with their child. They think that they may let their child make their own decisions and perhaps experience things early, maybe even drinking with a parent, so we know where our children are. Overly permissive parenting creates a self-centered, demanding child who thinks that the world owes him. These children fail to consider the rights of others. And then there's authoritative parenting. This type of parenting encourages the child to have independent thinking within limits and boundaries. He's able to develop his own independence. In many homes today, whether by choice or out of necessity, both parents work outside the home, leaving a child to himself, perhaps unsupervised. This child is isolated, lonely, vulnerable, perhaps leading the child to use drugs and alcohol. Supervision and communication is very important to a child. In fact, the #1 thing that children say they need from their parents today is their time and their attention. Financial issues may also be a factor. This may be something that we don't really think about and is a lot out of our control. But financial problems can cause a lot of fighting between the parents. There's a lot of strain on the family during this time. Not having enough money can cause social isolation. The child is not able to be involved in social activities that his friends are, such as baseball, softball, even maybe scouts. Then there may be too much money. It's hard to think, that too much money may cause problems, but this enables a child to do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. And this child may not develop the sense of responsibility that is so important if everything is handed to him. Then there's the issue of divorce. Of course, this is very prevalent in our society today. But a child may feel like it's his fault. Maybe the parent who's still there is so lonely that he or she confides in the child like a friend. This causes the child to switch roles, and the child is the parent's confidant, and he's not allowed to be the child that he needs to be. Maybe there's a parent that's gone a lot, having to work twice as hard. Since the parent becomes the major breadwinner, he might have to be gone a lot. All of these things lead a child open and vulnerable to alcohol and drug use. Having alcohol in the home makes it readily available to the child. A parent's attitude towards alcohol is very important in how the child views alcohol himself. If a parent is alcoholic, it affects the whole family. Relationships are strained, to say the least. Usually there's a lot of embarrassment and denial. Denial is a defense mechanism, and it's a way of protecting ourselves till we're ready to face whatever it is we need to face. But denial can be very destructive as well. Denial can actually enable the alcoholic or drug user to continue drinking. If we're in denial, the alcoholic doesn't have to face the consequences because we will do it for them. Alcoholism is a disease, and it's progressive in nature. according to research, there's a scientific evidence that it is inherited. So genetics do play a major role in the development of alcoholism. One of the main psychological issues that teens face today is the dysfunction of the family. And as seen, some things are subtle, some things not so subtle. No one is to blame. We all do the best that we know how to do. But knowledge is power, and parents have the power to change. We must face the facts and help our children stay away from alcohol. Now I'm going to take some questions from the audience, if there are any.
I do.
Okay?
Is denial the same thing as a pink elephant in the room statement?
Yes, denial is the same thing as the pink elephant in the room statement. It's a visual statement. If you can think of having a huge pink elephant in your living room and everybody just pretending that it's not there. So that's sort of what denial is in the circumstance of alcohol and drug addiction.
What should a parent do if they know that their child's drinking?
If you know that your child is drinking, you need to confront them, or it's best to confront them, and go ahead and face the facts early. If a child is drinking, then obviously you'll know that. If by the smell of their breath, they may start staying out later, grades might start slipping, this sort of thing. Then obviously if you find any type of drugs in your home and the child says, "It's not mine," you know, it is theirs, and we need to confront them and do something about it. Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about how the family dysfunction can contribute to teenage alcoholism.